At the outset of the 1974 season, the New England Patriots were charted as merely an improved team. Despite facing an unrelenting schedule that included 5 of the 8 playoff teams of '73, team confidence was high and the young squad was eager for competition. With the world champion Miami Dolphins as their first opponent, head coach Chuck Fairbanks and the youthful Patriots would discover in one afternoon how they stood with the very best in the game. And how they fared sent tremors of disbelief throughout the football world. For on that first Sunday, the Patriots outclassed the Dolphins in every facet of play. Defensively, they dominated the line of scrimmage as they took on and beat down the challenge of Zonka and Kick. With their ground game harnessed, the Dolphins turned to the pass, and 5 times Bob Greasy fell victim to a stampeding rush. There could not have been a better debut for Coach Fairbanks' new stacked defense, as time and again it forced turnovers. And when the defense delivered, the offense showed both poise and resolve as it sought out the Miami end zone. When Sam Cunningham rammed the final Patriot touchdown through the middle of Miami's defense to complete their 34-point conquest of the Dolphins, a wave of excitement grasped Foxborough. The New England Patriots had burst into the headlines with a vibrancy and skill that promised the league a new contender in 1974. With their startling opening day triumph behind them, the Patriots next encountered a stubborn New York Giant team. But as competitive as the Giants were that day, Mack Herron returns carried the Patriots beyond the grasp of defeat. Trailing 14-7, Herron's 62-yard kickoff return ignited the Patriots' offense. And on the next play, a leaping catch by Randy Vitaha made it a tie game. From there, the Patriots went on to claim a 28-20 victory, which spoke well of a young team whose emotions could easily have let down following their dizzying upset of Miami. But the game's most important factor was not a singular play or player. It was the defense. For throughout the afternoon, it pounded the Giants' offense and stripped them of their ground attack. And if the Patriots' defense was important against the Giants, the following week, its value increased. Against the Los Angeles Rams, the stacked defense struck down one of the game's best rushing attacks in a thundering chorus of hits. With the defense defiantly in control of the Rams' offense, a bounty of 5 turnovers contributed to a 20-point offensive explosion that began with a touchdown pass to Darryl Stingley. Following Stingley's lead, the powerful left foot of number 1, John Smith, delivered field goals of 39 and 23 yards to put the Patriots on top 13-7 late in the third quarter. In the final quarter, Jim Plunkett completed his offensive foray just as he started it with a touchdown pass. This time it was to Randy Vitaha. And the score clinched the convincing 20-14 upset victory over the Rams. In the delirious celebration that followed, one fact was abundantly clear. The New England Patriots were the hottest, most exciting team in the National Football League. The following week, the Patriots' defense simply overwhelmed the Baltimore Colts. With the defense controlling the Colts at will, the Patriots geared up an offensive assault that would, by afternoon's end, register 384 yards and 42 points. Not since 1965 had a Patriot team so dominated an opponent. And for the fans at Schaefer Stadium that day, those 42 points were a sweetly savored feast. When the last of those points had been spiked in triumph, Coach Chuck Fairbanks congratulated his men, and rightly so, for as one of but 3 undefeated teams in the league, they stood on the lofty summit of the AFC's Eastern Division. Joe Namath and the Jets were the next target. And with almost 10 years of Jet dominance to make up for, the Patriots came on in waves of white and red revenge. But while Joe was blitzed into his first shutout since 1966, the Patriots were soon to live with a harsh lesson from fate. As a result of a midfield collision, the valuable services of wide receiver Darryl Stingley were lost for the season. And suddenly, with the onslaught of other injuries in the receiving corps, the offense's versatility was weakened. But that didn't stop the Patriots that Sunday, as Sam Cunningham looped around Jet defenders for one score and then hurdled them for another. The Patriots' victory was by necessity a team effort. And with Joe Namath beaten and on the bench, the defense turned an interception into the final points of a 24-0 shutout of the New York Jets. With a momentum of 5 consecutive victories behind them, the Patriots squared off against the Buffalo Bills in a game of championship proportions. Sam Cunningham exploded for a 75-yard touchdown run on the game's first play from scrimmage, and the Patriots seemed to be in high gear. In this, a classic battle of young improving teams, and with injuries crippling the Patriots' air attack, the balance ultimately settled in favor of the O.J.-led Bills by just 2 points, 30-28. For the New England Patriots, their first taste of defeat was soured all the more with thoughts of what could well have been. But with their pressing schedule, there was little time for hindsight. 7 days later, the Super Bowl-destined Minnesota Vikings provided the opposition. And for 3 quarters, the Patriots held fast to a 10-0 lead, highlighted by a touchdown pass to rookie receiver, number 87, Steve Schubert. Schubert's reception was his first as a pro, but 10 points were not enough to defeat the seasoned guile of Fran Tarkenton. And immediately after Ron Bolton's interception, a fumble led to a Minnesota touchdown. "13 minutes later, a Tarkenton bootleg put the Patriots behind, 14-10. But with 86 yards to go and 81 seconds to do it in, the Patriots looked square into the face of defeat and said, no way. 55 yards downfield, Randy Vataha's catch set the stage for the Patriots' retort and one of the most inspired comebacks of the '74 season. With time whittled to 8 seconds, Jim Plunkett dropped back and drilled a pass to tight end Bob Windsor, who fought his way into the end zone despite a season-ending knee injury to give his team a 17-14 victory. Seven days later, the sky-high Patriots were back in Foxborough to once again do battle with the Buffalo Bills. And on their first possession, Plunkett to Herron accounted for the game's first touchdown. In the second quarter, the Plunkett-Herron hookup registered 6 more points, and it finished as a 3 TD day for Mini Mack. But just as the other Patriots-Bills game, this one also was a seesaw of scoring, with neither team able to claim command. With a score 14-12 in favor of New England, number 27, Ron Bolton, grabbed a Buffalo pass, and it seemed as though the Buffalo Ramparts were showing signs of strain. 2 plays later, Sam Bam took a pitch out and raced 31 yards as Schaefer Stadium celebrated a 21-12 lead. By the third quarter, the Patriots were threatening deep in Buffalo territory and trying to increase a 21-19 lead, only to have an interception move the Bills ahead. Finally, with Buffalo leading 29-28, the grinding battle came down to a Patriot field goal attempt that promised to decide the issue. But John Smith's attempt was blocked, and the last half of the season brought 6 defeats. In retrospect, the success of '74 lies in those pure and frozen moments that a young team had so brilliantly captured. Through the success and disappointment of the season, the Patriots' defense was a tower of strength. The stacked defense worked because it was adapted to the personnel, and the personnel made it number 1 against the run in the AFC. Men such as number 72, defensive end Mel Lunsford, helped this turnaround in '74. Alternating at nose tackle, number 75, Arthur Moore's size and strength added another dimension to the 3-man line. Starting at nose tackle was number 71, Raymond Sugar Bear Hamilton, who for 14 games directed his speed and quickness to the point of attack. Right end, number 85, Julius Adams, used his 260-pound physique to optimum advantage throughout the season as he led the team in sacks. Times quarterbacks fell to the New England rush. And if it's true you win games on offense and championships on defense, the Patriots are obviously headed in the right direction. In the defensive secondary, 5 of 7 members were new to the team. And in number 34, Prentice McRae, the Patriots found a safety who showed savvy far beyond his first-year status. At the other safety, a trade brought one of Chuck Fairbanks' Oklahoma greats to the Patriots, and in number 45, Jack Mildren, they gained a highly respected competitor. At left cornerback, number 25, John Sanders completed his rookie campaign with 5 interceptions and is heading toward a promising future. But the most esteemed and 5th-ranked interceptor in the AFC was number 27, Ron Bolton, a man who snared 7 opposition aerials in '74 despite a broken wrist. Improvement will be an objective of the secondary in '75. And with the youth and talent at hand, it should be achieved. The four linebackers were outstanding for the Patriots in '74. And as number 57, rookie Steve Nelson showed, they were all hitters. At outside linebackers, second-year man number 52, Steve King, brought a special team hustle in his first year as a starter. The other outside linebacker was number 90, George Webster, a veteran whose trade to the Patriots brought 8 years of experience and a stabilizing force to the linebacking corps. The Patriots acquired number 50, Sam Hunt, as a 15th round draft choice in '74. But what they got was a man whose battering ram hits kept pace with the tenor of Patriot defense throughout the year. In one season, the men of the stack defense climbed from last place against the rush to the number 1 ranking in the AFC. And that's where they intend to stay. As the second highest scoring team in the NFL, the Patriots were exciting and explosive, and the offensive line deserves a great deal of the credit. In center number 67, Bill Lenkaitis, and tackle number 77, Tom Neville, the Patriots had veteran leadership that anchored a young, aggressive line. In number 73, John Hanna, the Patriots have one of the finest young guards in the game. Hanna teamed with guard number 61, Sam Adams, and a highly mobile tackle, number 70, Leon Gray, to round out one of pro football's most respected lines in 1974. As a unit, their man-moving efforts gave runners like number 39, Sam Cunningham, a chance to explode into the opposition secondary. Sam Bam gained 811 yards and scored 66 points. Quite a production, considering he was out for the last 4 games. In Englishman John Smith, the Patriots had one of the highest scorers in the NFL. During the past season, Smith was good on 72% of his field goals and amassed a total of 90 points. On kickoffs, Smith's power was apparent as he outkicked every opponent and had 13 no returns. Another highly reliable performer was tight end Bob Windsor, a man who proved his competitive courage. At wide receiver number 84, Darryl Stingley combined speed, agility, and sure-handedness to give the Patriots a bona fide deep threat. With injury cutting Stingley's season more than in half, the wide receiver slot became the full-time responsibility of number 18, Randy Vataha. Interestingly enough, Vataha is not particularly big or fast. He is, however, there when you need him, with sure hands and plenty of moxie. Vataha averaged over 22 yards per catch as he rolled up 561 yards for the season, which included this touchdown caper against the Oakland Raiders. With point production spiraling to 348 in '74, the offense was second highest in the NFL. During the past season, Jim Plunkett threw 19 touchdown passes and established himself as one of the finest young quarterbacks in the game. Just as the Heisman Trophy symbolized his excellence in college, during his fourth pro season, Plunkett's play calling and execution improved to match his competitive drive. In 1975, Jim Plunkett and the Patriots can only get better. In their refreshing approach to the game, the New England Patriots were a team of youthful exuberance. During his 2 years as head coach, Chuck Fairbanks has made emotional competitiveness and esprit de corps Patriot hallmarks. But the most distinctive Patriot hallmark is a diminutive running back named Mack Herron. At 5'5", Herron is one of professional football's shortest competitors. But when Mini Mac puts on his game uniform, the concepts of short and long, little and big become irrelevant. For at that time, number 42 is nothing less than sensational. During the season past, Herron set a team record with 12 touchdowns. He rushed for 824 yards and 7 scores. But that's just the beginning. For as a receiver, he added 5 more touchdowns and 474 additional yards to his statistics. Mack Herron, a name to be remembered. Mack Herron, runner, receiver, punt and kickoff returner extraordinaire. In 1974, Herron's multi-talents accounted for 2,444 yards of offense, a National Football League record. Of all the great running backs, past and present, only one man has the combined yardage record. That one man stands as the complete running back. That man is Mack Herron. Yet the special talents of Mack Herron are but a particle of the New England Patriots season of '74. As a team, they learned that they were capable of victory over any opponent. In 1974, they became believers. In 1975, they could become champions.